Okay, we're off and running. This is my second take on this because the first one at the end of it, instead of saving it, I deleted it. Duh. Okay, so now hopefully it'll be even better this time than it was the first time. I don't know how good it was the first time. Okay, I mentioned to you last week to get a research paper topic in mind, okay, or maybe even two. What you do now is you want to find out more about that topic, first of all. So go to the internet, Google it, and you should get a list of articles about it. Spend a little time reading those articles about it, okay? Not a ton of time, but a little time, for a couple of reasons. First of all, you'll be able to decide right away if this is something that interests you, because we want this work to be interesting for you. Okay, so spend a little time reading so you know you're going to be interested, so you know you can understand it, okay? And also doing that helps you know that information is available on it. So you want to do that, okay? Okay, so once you have ascertained that you have a topic that interests you, it's time to start gathering sources. What you did first is called general background reading, where you get an idea, kind of an overview of your topic, what it involves and such, okay? But it's time then, after that, to start gathering sources. Not gathering specific pieces of information, but gathering sources, okay? So here's what you do to gather sources. Get yourself a pack of 3x5 or 4x6 note cards. You know what note cards are, right? 3x5, 4x6. And then put it in your head that you're not going to worry about filling those note cards. You're going to use them because pretty much all the information from your paper is going to ultimately go on note cards. But from the beginning, what we're doing is we're recording the sources that you use to gather information from for your research paper, okay? So here's what you do with those note cards. You have found 6 or 7 or 8 different things that seem like they're going to help you. And you're going to need 6 or 7 or 8 different things because a research paper means gathering information from here and here and here and here and putting it all together. I told you in class that this is not a report. A report means just getting information from 1 or 2 places. No, you have to show information from a minimum of six different places in your book, in books, okay, or magazines, or periodicals, or internet articles, any of those places, okay? So what do you do? How do you do this? You take once you find, let's say, a book that you think is going to be helpful to you, you take one of your 3x5 or 4x6 note cards, and on that note card, on the first line, you write the author's last name first, last name, comma, first name. Okay, that goes on the top line. If there's more than one author, you'd have last name, comma, first name, and then the second author. But when you get to the second author, the first name goes first and then the last name. So, you know, to be Smith, comma, Ralph, and Joseph Chernowski. Okay, to use a name that I'm familiar with. Okay? Doing things this way will make the process easier for you when you get to the last step. So right from the beginning, we're showing you how to make things easier. Okay, so again, on a note card, if you have an author's name, last name first, comma, first name, and I told you what to do with the second, third, and fourth author. Okay? Then next we'll go, if it's an article in a book, on the second line would go the name of the article. And when you have articles, put quotation marks around them. Quotation marks let you know that you have an article, okay, rather than the name of a book. Names of articles we put in quotation marks. Okay, so that would go on your second line on the note card. On your third line on the note card would go the title of the book, and you underline the title of the book. Okay, that tells you it's a book. If it's underlined, it's a book. If it's in quotation marks, it's an article. Okay. After that, we have the publishing information. So the next line would be city of publication. The next line would be publishing company. and the next line would be date of publication. Okay, so that's for a book or an article in a book. Okay, if you have an article out of a periodical, out of a magazine, okay, something like that, which is where a lot of your information may come from, you start out again, if they give you an author. They don't always give you an author, but if they do, the author's name would go on that first line, and again, last name first. Okay. If they don't give you an author, that's okay. Then on the first line will go the name of the article in quotation marks. Then the next line would be the name of the magazine or periodical, and you underline the name of the magazine or periodical. The next line would be the date that periodical was published. Okay. And the next line would be, and pay attention to this, all of the pages that the article appeared on in that magazine or periodical. So if it was on page 37, 38, and then 56, 57, you put both of those on there, okay? Okay. We're not taking individual pieces of information now. We're only gathering the sources that we're going to use to take our information from later, okay? If you have a newspaper, you'd do it pretty much the same way as what I just talked about with a magazine or a periodical. If you have an internet article, lots of internet articles have authors, but lots do not have authors. If you have an author, again, on the first line of your note card, you'd have the author's last name, comma, first name. Then next would be the name of the article, and again, quotation marks around it because quotation marks go around the names of all articles. Then the full web address, okay, so that I can go there if I want to. I would know exactly what to type into my browser if I wanted to find that article and read it, okay? So we'd have the author if you have one, the title of the article, the full internet address, the date that article was published, and also put down the date that you found that article. And I'll explain why in class some other time, okay? But for an internet article, that's what you would have. Now, a lot of times internet articles do not give you authors. Fine, you'd start with the title. Sometimes internet articles do not even give you a title. Sometimes it's just an article, okay? Make sure that you put down the full web address, the date of publication, and the date that you went to that article, okay? So the purpose of all of this is so that ultimately any reader can go right to your sources and find all of your information, okay? So for next week, I want you to have a minimum of 6 sources that you may or may not be using for your paper, but at a quick glance, these are the things you think you're going to use, okay? So again, you can start by just typing in the topic, Googling the topic name, and you may come up with a whole list of articles right away, or go to the library and, look for books there. You may come up with a whole list of books, or periodicals or something right there, okay? So start doing some research now, and again, you're not taking individual pieces of information. You are only collecting sources. We'll tell you very soon how to go about taking individual pieces of information, but it's way too soon to start to do that. So what you want to do is some general background reading to get a big picture of the article, of your topic, and then collect 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sources, each one on a separate note card, okay? Let me tell you this now. Every piece of information that goes into your research paper, whether you put it in your own words, so you read it someplace and you put it then in your own words, or you quote it, you take it directly from in the words of the author, either way, you're going to have to tell where that idea comes from. So even though it's your words, if it's somebody else's idea, you're going to have to document where it comes from. And so all of these ideas will come from the different sources that you are accumulating on these note cards, okay? So keep that in mind right from the beginning too. You know where to get a hold of me. If you have any questions, give me a call, throw me a text, shoot me an email, whatever, and I'll get back to you so that we can get you going. Okay? Have a good week.